Hello there, this is Cookies, and I've got turn 29, still managing to actually keep up with this game. I haven't fallen behind at all, and let's go ahead and jump into it. So we get a proclamation from Mekone. Japan is over the pole march, shall hereby be known as, because Kidzin returned from his trip, as the prophet of forgot the naming convention, Prince of Courage, Drinker of Blood. All right. So it looks like the war between Lanka and Hinnom is very hot. Sauromatia is also attacked. Marverni, nothing from Marverni though. And I was really expecting something from Marverni. Additionally, we've got attacks on Helheim potentially, but over the same province. So let's go ahead and let's cover kind of the Hinnom region first. So we've got Lanka attacking Lake Fortune. We have this guy. We've seen this guy before. Enormous strength, hits for 39 with 20 to attack. Going after some ichthyds. They're gonna have a very bad time. All right. In Midland, got an enchanted pike thug with swiftness. Going up against some PD. Should do just fine. Personal flight. We're looking at 27 fatigue, 18 attack, 34 damage pike, length 5. All right. Oh, adding more. Charged body. Okay, now he charges on. I believe he stunned the Avite commander, which is very good for this guy. He did get hit. He's got battle fright. So he's down at 11 morale. He might actually rout. But ends up winning. Alright. Yeah, he probably needs some sort of morale item now if he wants to go around thugging, or he might need some help in case he runs away. In Spring Bay, got a commander pinging 1 PD. Okay. And then let's cover the rest of Lanka and Hinnom, and we've got Falgoth. A different enchanted pike swiftness thug. Okay. As a reminder, the bless is quickness, blood surge, and awe. I'm assuming it's the same script with the charge body. Nope, no charged body this time. Okay, so he takes it. And then we have 2 attacks from Sauromatia. This is a lot of Oreapoda. A hero with lightning reflexes. I would love to see this guy with a magic weapon. And maybe some way to increase damage, because 27 defense is phenomenal. It's just, it might not be able to hurt a rough fight in a serious way. Like a GSS would be great. Let's see. The Prophet does have a helmet and a Bear Claw talisman. So some extra strength and morale. What's going on here? Oh, a Dominion penalty, right. Tough skin. 18 protection, so still hits okay. But yeah, just a big mob of Oreopata. They will definitely slaughter these barbarians. As a reminder, here's their bless. Blood Surge, True Sight, Blur. A lot of stat res stuff. Also, with Awakened Tattoos, they get invulnerability. And Skilled Rider 3. So morale and defense skill. So they're up at 19. And then this one also gives some MR. So they're up at 12 MR. Okay. So yeah, 61 Oreopata, very scary. Hinnom's definitely going to need rough fights for this, and we'll need to make sure that his commanders don't get surrounded and killed. Again, I'd love to see an army thug in there, though, for trying to deal with mill carts. And then a pretty nice little group of lancers. Alright. Should be able to kill most PD groups, so pretty solid right here. Alright. Although potentially this raid could split, but there's no second commander. You probably don't need extra to go and kill like 1 to 6 PD. 30 cavalry is really only useful if you run into maybe like a PD dump, honestly. But if it runs into serious resistance, like a Melkart's, if he's properly kitted and buffed, can probably kill infinite lancers. So I'm not sure. Even maybe 15 Dawnguard might give this a tough go of it. So I'm not sure about the raiding party size, but it is good to be unpredictable. You don't want to do minimal PD raids and then get counter-raided very easily. Let's see. So we have the barbarians continuing. Oh, just the one barbarian lord attacking Helheim. He is so determined. He kills a militia and dies. Helheim moves in to attack the barbarians, but the barbarian lord migrated without the rest of the barbarians. So he gets that for free. Tianchi attacks Norville with a small archery contingent, but there's a number of Hellherdings here. The archers just run away. Okay, and then Mekone moves into Norville. Oh, but it's just a scout. Okay. So maybe he got patrolled out. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the map. Okay, so Ur's pulled back from the Tianchi border. And he's probably trying to tech up. I think I would have liked to see him contest at least this. There's no reason for him to give this away. I think he could fight Tianchi. The biggest problem would be the Pretender. But I think Ur's got some answers to that, depending on his research. Now, apparently, Tianchi and Mekone had a nap. Mekone forgot and attacked Tianchi, but he's paying reparations and he's left. Presumably they're gonna end the nap, or maybe they'll restore it. I'm not sure. But TNC's gone ahead and gotten Lombaria back. The barbarians are continuing to persist and potentially migrate around. So this was conquered by TNC, and now it's been taken by Helheim. So I am curious if Helheim's intending to attack TNC. Maybe the screenshots from this army getting killed have circulated. So could see Helheim potentially trying to move in here. I think all of this is very tricky because you have almost 200 barbarians running around in the region too. Maybe Helheim will give it back, but I'm not sure if he will. It might have been that TNC just took too long to knock out these barbarians, and so Helheim's sensing weakness. All right. And then, yeah, then we've got the Hinnom front. Okay. So this merc is trying to hold on to this pond. Ooh, is that pillaging? Okay, so Lanka's very upset. He's pillaging the earth. He is trying to consolidate here. Oh, Hinnom guessed correctly that Sauromatia was going to attack, but he guessed the wrong province. So Sauromatia sent the main force to Faldenberg, but Hinnom protected Salt Plains. Still not seeing any national long dead. And I know he's got some death income, but we'll have to see. This stack is very scary. I could see this stack definitely giving pause to both armies. Marverni is still up here. That's going to be complicated. Sauromatia has taken this from Hinnom, and this used to be Marverni's. I'm not sure if Sauromatia is going to want to give that back. If Sauromatia moves here, he might bump with Marverni, and he might be thinking, oh, I'm just taking stuff from Hinnom and not know. And then that would get his raiding party killed. I mean, that could be a potential source of conflict between Marverni and Sauromatia. When did this happen? During late in fall of year 1. We're in year 2. Why hasn't he retaken this? Fomoria found a Bone Door Tower. Academy of War. Interesting. Okay. Well, Hinnom does have the Wasteland movement, so he can definitely try to project power all around this region as long as his army stays up. He's got 2 Melkarts back in it. He's got Avite Spearmen here. Now the Avites probably need to be careful of the champion thug, this one down here. They're not going to know about him, but they do need to be careful of him. They might find out about him when he moves to take Hinnom. Because I imagine this thug's going to continue on to Hinnom. He is picking up Mazix. So he's going to have a flying component. Now Lanka's going to know about the Mazix because he took the province next door. So he can script some hold an attack closest in the back of his formation, and maybe some bodyguards. Okay. I mean, this army continues to grow from Berytos. I could see Berytos trying to seize this, because he's going to see the combat between Lanka and Hinnom. So Berytos might look at these 5 as stuff he can get if he ends his nap. Berytos also mentioned something about being sad that Tianchi was able to get peace. Because it sounded like he was hoping to vulture a bit. Oh, he does have a little border here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, getting the Throne of Gaia would be really nice on Berytos. It would put him at growth 4, so he might spread forests, but I think he'd probably still be okay with that. Interesting. If he had, no, he probably doesn't, but if he had decent scout coverage, he might know about some of the fighting with Hinnom. And then he might be able to take advantage still. But I think he's more likely to look at Lanka and Hinnom. There's Sayer or second in this army listing. Okay. Well, we're finally getting some action. If Xibalba times his attack, and Xibalba's got 200, 400, like 600-ish things. Now, he's not going to want to mobilize all of this because he's blood hunting. But, and we are seeing our first ocelotls. Okay. Yep, and then the Crystal Mage, our first Crystal Mage has come out. So free for it there. Yeah, so if Xibalba times his attack, he could put a real hurting on Lanka before Lanka is able to recall his forces. Now, this army would be able to return pretty quickly. They could move 2 here. And unless the attacks flew out of the cave and were able to attack still, Lanka would have some knowledge of an impending attack. But this is definitely a bit of a ticking time bomb sitting under Lanka. Gosh, Lanka's really getting big too. I'm surprised people let him expand all over here. Alright. Well, we'll just have to see. I'm just happy that there's combat. So, we've got a very interesting Graphite stack that we saw kill a Lanka army a couple of turns ago. And I think it's definitely going to draw some more blood before it goes out. Marverni needs to make a decision. They missed out on the throne because they diverted their army, and they haven't been aggressive just yet. A lesser horror? What is going on? Why are you horror marked? Oh, you've got a soul contract. Interesting. This is a visual bug again. Still not quite sure what causes that. All right. So he was getting a few devils. Several devils could be seen. All right. But not anymore. I think Marverni really does want to get some tech, though. He's still not quite building a fort on this. Mekone's recalled even more of his troops. He's almost certainly, he has to be counting down a nap. Because either he needs to fight or he needs to fight Tianchi, but he probably does need to fight someone at this point. Maybe counting down the nap will work with Helheim. Helheim might want this throne, is what I'm thinking. He might want this. Maybe both throne? No, he can't get flags. He's not going to go for this, but I could see him going for this throne, the Throne of Gaia. I think Mekone would want both of these, and probably this fort. So I'm not sure what Helheim would gain. All right, we see Fomoria continuing to build up numbers. All right, let's take a look at the graphs. So when it comes to provinces, Lanka's way up in first now by virtue of gaining territory in a war and also having great expansion. We've got forts here, so Berytos, Tianchi. Let's see, who else was in the provinces? Sauromatia, okay, up a little. And Mekone. All right. And we got Berytos, Tianchi for forts, Berytos and for income as the two most scales of the nations. A lot of gold under that curve that's been turned into a lot of forts and a lot of research. In terms of gem income, we've got Lanka out in front, then followed by Tianchi, Mekone, Fomoria, Marverni, and Berytos. So fairly decent site searching going on. With blood income, we've got Xibalba and Berytos. Lanka's started to turn on some blood hunting. Hinnom did a little, but generally speaking, it's just been Xibalba and Berytos. For research, Berytos is out in the lead, followed by Tianchi. And they are they twice as much? No, not quite. So this is about 13 bars, and this is 20 bars. But Berytos has a substantial lead over most nations. And yeah, it might have double over about half of the nations in this list, including all the blood nations. And then we've got Tianchi, Marverni, who with a little bit of research becomes very scary in the mid-game, with boar spam and gifts from heaven and communions. And we've got Helheim and Fomoria. In terms of Dominion, we've got Marverni, Hinnom, Tianchi, Lanka, and Helheim. For army size, Berytos is way out in front. Then we've got and Xibalba, and then Sauromatia and Lanka. And then for ascension points, out in front, we've got Sauromatia, Hinnom, and Tianchi. So, yeah, hopefully we'll continue to get some more action. Maybe we'll see a big fight between Hinnom and either Sauromatia or Lanka. I think these two options, or these two armies, realistically only have so many options. Now, I don't... Lanka might have enough map move to move over Spring Bay and attack, but I don't think so. Now, Hinnom pinged this last turn, hoping to see what was in this army. He might try to raid this and then run into the army, just like what I did against Distant Horizon in my Nagron campaign. And then that would be really bad. Because Hinnom... The other thing Hinnom might do is try to counter-raid this Raksharaja. I'm not sure if the Avite Spearmen can do it, but I feel like they can. This feels like a little bit lighter thug. Oh, and this is the one with Battle Fright. Yeah. And this is mostly soulless. Now, he might not know it, but I think Hinnom could very successfully raid Midland back. He might choose to do that with some of the troops here. He's got some Roughite warriors down here. And then this group could test the waters here, but probably run into this army and die. Or they could just stay here and patrol. Try to catch this thug. He's got another little patrol group here with a Mound King. Oh, okay. He's running down Conjuration. And then, yeah, maybe this army. I'm not sure what this army does. Maybe you go here, because you still have the connection to World's Teeth here. And you see what you can catch in Flemistan. I mean, you could also go on Sauromatia's fort. That would be awkward. And then maybe take his fort from him and then backtrack with your army. But then you do have to be careful about what Lanka's army is doing, especially around your capital. How much longer does he have on the mercs? He's got one more turn, so he probably has to rebid them. Let's see, he would be rebidding on 50 gold mercs, so maybe 25 gold, but I think Hinnom has to pay more for mercs. So he might have to pay like 50 to 100 gold. Something he could do is bid for the swimming men down here in Hinnom. And then he could move this group up and out. Or once he has them. If you wanted to continue using them. It would be awkward though if he bid on them and then this thug took Hinnom right after these troops left and then he didn't get the merc bid. Yeah, the real mind game is, where is the Sauromatian army going? Can Hinnom catch it, or does Hinnom care? Because taking this fort from Sauromatia, forcing him to siege it back, and then you have all those Roughites in there, just nomming this fort for a turn, or 2 turns, be very bad for Sauromatia. Yeah, really curious to see what ends up happening here. Cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I think there's some good setup for action next turn. And maybe we'll see some combat, more serious combat here in a turn or two. We'll see if Helheim continues pushing, or if Helheim's content to kill barbarians. or we'll see if Mekone ends up invading Tianqi or if he ends up deciding on somewhere else to go. All right, have a good one.